Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us this evening. I promise to be super duper brief. First, I wanted to welcome you. Second, I want to put what we're doing this evening in context. We've been, over the last half decade or so, working really hard to transform BET. And that transformation is manifested in an array of ways. But the manifestation of which we are most proud is the extraordinary transformation of BET's content offerings. And that's why we're here this evening. 2024 marks the year where BET has more Emmy-eligible content than we've ever had in our 44-year history. Which we really, really love. And I want to take a moment to just thank and acknowledge the extraordinary creative partners who are here with us this evening. You will hear from them. They've brought brilliant ideas, bold ideas, authentic ideas, wildly ambitious ideas, and ultimately incredibly original ideas to BET. And we're so proud of the work that they've done, and we're so grateful that they've chosen us to be their partners to bring their extraordinary visions to life. So I thank everyone for that. I also want to acknowledge all of you. We realize that there's a for your consideration event every single night, and you all could be anywhere, and we're really grateful that you've chosen to join us to celebrate our content. So thank you for being here. Thank you. And with that, I'm now thrilled to welcome to the stage my partner, the head of BET Studios, Aisha Summers-Burke, who's going to run our first panel. Aisha.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Let's get started with the panel. I'm going to start introducing everybody, and I'm going to start with the lovely Diarra Kilpatrick. Next is Cynthia McWilliams. Mary Lou Belli. Miss Patricia, Miss Pat Williams. And of course, the legendary Miss Robi. I was just going to say, all the women on here, you guys all look amazing, and thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you guys taking the time. So I want to start with Robi. Hi. So Robi, obviously you're a casting legend and powerhouse, and again, you have discovered new and fresh talent. Obviously, you've been amazing when coming to Diarra and Average Joe, and so we want to hear a little bit about the process of how you are able to find all of these talented people all in these different ships.
Well, first of all, thank you, and you are looking fab.
Thank you.
Gorgeous. Let's say I love the process of casting, right? So you start with ideas you might have in your mind, and then whatever ideas the producers and the director bring, right? Start with a list, and then you go from there. And I think it's important that you remain open-minded and kind of let the material speak to you, right? The thing I love about casting is there's so many talented people, right? And then there are the ones who you might not have seen in a while, so the re-emerging talent, and then the ones that are the diamonds in the rough. And those are the ones, I mean, I love them all, right? But I just, continue to, I think, keep it fresh for me because I keep loving the process of discovery. Okay.
And Mary Lou Belli, twice Emmy nominated. Your vision as a director undoubtedly plays a crucial role in bringing out incredible performances from the cast of The Miss Pat Show. Can you highlight some of your prep work and your conversations with actors prior to shooting?
It's about authenticity, and it's about trust. And when you're coming into a fourth season, and hopefully fifth. You're looking to say, what are we going to do this season? And how can we show even more of this family? And because the storyline brought Pat back from the road and being a performer on the road in the season before, we had more time to explore the whole family this time and how her dynamic and at the matriarch of this family, what she was going to bring new this season. And just talking about how far can we go? It's always pretty far on this show. And I'm not just talking about the fun we have, I'm talking about the drama. You know, we explored some really serious things in past seasons, and when we, you know, we basically blew up the family at the end of this season, and it's just amazing how we're going to get them back and how Pat's going to be the person that brings them all together.
Diarra, question for you. So the show explores the unique cultural landscape, social dynamics, and vibrant characters, obviously defined in Detroit, your hometown. As a creator, executive producer, writer, and of course a lead actress, what's the secret power to juggling all of those major roles?
I think love. I think I really love telling stories. Wanted to bring the specificity of my point of view to an audience. I think, you know, I went to theater school, and sometimes we take ourselves really seriously and we think we're gonna make art that's gonna change the world, and we're gonna make important art, and we're gonna tell these stories. And then you grow up a little bit, and you go through losing a parent or watching the news, and then sometimes you go, I just wanna make art that entertains people, that makes people feel good, that at the end of the day is life affirming. And so that love for storytelling and wanting to do that for an audience, I think is the key. The other thing is having as many fantastic people in other roles as possible, because you just can't be everywhere all at once. And you don't want to be. And so I've just been really blessed to have some really fantastic collaborators on the show.
Ms. Pat, so your show has become an institution and a very much beloved show. And just a funny story, it's the first show that Scott sent me when I started working at the ET Studios. And I remember thinking, okay, I'm gonna watch an episode and then I'm gonna go up and have dinner with my family. I did not come back to dinner. I watched the entire season. It was so, so good. So you do such a beautiful job between balancing humor and heartfelt moments, often drive, obviously, from your own life experiences. So how do you distinguish between comedy and those more serious moments in such a personal kind of story?
I think it works out because I'm a comedian, and a lot of these stories that we tell on this past show is based off my life and our culture. I didn't think that was all. I was like, my voice is too loud to be that low. No, I know how I talk. I'm like, I'm gonna turn my mic off. Thank you. The show is based off of my life, and I'm a comic, so when my co-creator started to dig and we made the first episode based off of my life, and I think it works because I have taken tragedy and turned it into comedy. And one thing that you would get when you come over to this past show, you will see some of the darkest things, and you're like, you're not supposed to laugh at that. Yes, you do. Because one thing that I teach even with my stand-up and in the Miss Pat show, when you can laugh about what you've been through, then you got control of it. When you cannot laugh, then that pain will control you. And as you come over to the Miss Pat show, you're going to see rape, you're going to see child molestation, you're going to see abortions, you're going to see affairs, you're going to see everything that a real family go through, no matter what race you are. And sometimes BET be like, y'all can't do that. You be like, yes, we can. Come on, BET. It's a 50-year-old lady out here that had an abortion. You know, have to sit them there and say, all my friends be doing this. But it's okay. It's my body, it's my right. And look at everybody's butthole on clammed up. It's my body. So why can't I tell the story? And that is one of the reasons why I love being at BET Plus. and BET, because it is a network that allow me to be black as hell. And that is hard to do in this industry.
Cynthia, so this
We
show,
gonna check before we start. See, we checking, all right?
Give me that
I
one.
could've got you, I'm a theater kid too, we could've did it. This is better though, thank you.
so your show obviously has a bunch of suspense and drama. It's very multi-layered. How do you prepare for this? How did you prepare for this role compared to some of the other roles you've done over the years?
Oh, well, I didn't prepare for this any differently. I feel like, as you said, I'm a theater kid. I prepare for everything in exactly the same way. It always starts with the script. The script tells me everything. It's like this little, roadmap, and I'm just trying to find out where does it say, go left, go right, whatever. And hopefully I get where the writer wants me to go, or take a really fun detour along the way. But that's where I would start, paying attention to what the writer has to say about me, what I say to other people, what the other characters in the show say, blah, blah, blah. Then I get inspired, and I go, fun things, like what's her hair gonna look like? What's she gonna wear? And then we have these amazing people that we get to work with and help you create all of that. I think for me, one of the things I thought about Kathy was she made me think of Peg Bundy. When I was growing up, I loved the fierce sort of like, tell it like it is, and also don't give up. Sorry, we are not. We're here. I can't say don't give up. This is not the Miss Pat show. This is not the Miss Pat show.
You want me to come over?
That was, we heard it here. We have an invite to Cynthia Kaye McWilliams to be on the Miss Pat show. The decision makers are in the room. Thank you. Thank you. I love the idea that it was like Peg Bundy meets Mary J. Blige. That was my inspiration for Kathy. And so then I just started playing with that. So it's the script and then some inspiration, and then I get on the set and have fun and let the director and my brilliant co-stars tell me more about myself than I thought I knew.
So, Diarra, another question for you. I know you've answered this question a little bit, but for those who don't know, in terms of, Diarra from Detroit, obviously, again, it's, about Detroit, which is your hometown. Can you tell us a little bit about kind of the origin of this story, how this story came to be?
Well, there's a lot. I wanted to do something about a Black female private investigator. I feel like Black women can solve the world's issues pretty easily. I feel like we do it over wine all the time. And I wanted to see that. It's like, what does Columbo know that my grandmother didn't know, And I watched a lot of those shows with my granny, and I wanted to see a Black woman at the heart of it. And then growing up in Detroit, there was a story that really stuck with me of a little boy who went missing in the 90s, early mid-90s. And I just remember paying attention to those news stories and the old folks talking about, oh my goodness, his mother must have had something to do with it and what's going on, and so that stuck with me. And just before pandemic, a little boy walked into a Detroit police station and he said, I'm this boy who went missing in the 90s. I'm him. And I was just riveted by the story. I was checking the news, the Detroit news, refreshing the page, trying to get more information. And I guess I imagined that he had been through some really harrowing thing, that he had been held under a crack house or something like so deeply intense and awful. And then come to find out that they took his DNA and this boy was in fact completely crazy. And I thought, ooh, the writer in me was like, that's fantastic. You're so crazy. And then the optimist in me was like, but what if he did disappear and then come back? What would have happened to him? Where would he have been? What would he have been through? And so that's sort of the origin for how the first case for the first season came to be, and wanting to solve that in a way that felt better than what probably actually happened to that little boy. And also, like Pat said so elegantly, and I concur so much, the Black experience is something of a dark comedy. Like, you can't laugh at it, you're not gonna make it. But I did want to shed light on the fact that there are so many Black children that that go missing, and nobody sometimes gets to the end of that story. And so this woman was really dedicated to doing that, and I thought that was not only beautiful, but could be a lot of fun.
Robbie? Can you elaborate on your casting approach, especially in the room of, executive producers and the team? What type of guidance do you provide to them, and kind of what insight as you move forward when you're starting the process?
I just tell them what to do. So I think I touched a little bit on that, but it is good to know. I love it when directors and their producers come with ideas, right? We have our ideas and we put them all together. And again, it's always really key when the director, producer, remain open-minded, which they definitely do, right? Because you can be surprised by someone that you might not have seen or thought would be right for the role or what you were expecting, right? So I always love that. But it's a process. I tell folks, it's a mulberry bush and you have to go around it. So oftentimes you might see the person that gets the role on day one, but you go around the mulberry bush and you come back to it, right? And if it's for them, when they get the part. But you have to, I think, be patient. And it's always fun working with a director and or producer who love casting as much as you do, and or I do, and really understand what it is. And I love actors. I really do. I really love actors. I love meeting actors and reading actors, and then just helping them find, or you all, I'm sure that many of you here, get to that goal. And then the gift for me is being able to say you got the part. Yeah.
Obviously you've had multiple seasons, so can you talk about how that's, like every season, how do you go into it in terms of what you're going to do? Obviously you've had big twists and turns and there's so many kind of emotions. Is there an approach that you have? It's like you've ended season 1, and after season 2, now ended season 2 on this, go to season 3 and so on. Kind of what is that?
Well, a lot of that is with the co-creator, my co-creator, Shorty Cooper. We'll have the season planned out, and we have episodes that we can't even get to. To be honest, we probably got 10 episodes left on from season 1. And we just start to plan before the network even tell us that we're picked up. Because I always say, because if y'all don't know, I'm not theater, I'm an ex-drug dealer that's blessed to have a TV show. Don't let me scare y'all, I'm changing my life. So I use my street knowledge where it says, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So I'm not picked up for 5th season, but Scott is here and we're ready. And that's how we do it. I mean, every time one ends, and before that one even ends, we're planning for the next one until they say we're done with you guys.
And in terms of yes. So do you change your directing style for each show, or do you kind of come in knowing kind of how you want to approach each show or each episode, and how does it kind of change or not change in terms of how you come into it?
Because I direct multiple shows for BET, the way I approach a Kingdom business is very different from the way I approach Ms. Pat. Ms. Pat, even though they have families at the center who are doing strange things in both camps, my preparation in terms of the Kingdom business might be, finding the locations, going into the studio with the amazing Kirk Franklin, being there when they record music. But my approach for Ms. Pat is, because we get to play on that show, we rehearse for many days before a camera even shows up. So it's creating the playground. I have to plan a little bit more for Kingdom business in terms of, we have less time to play. So my vision, and both visually, and my palette for Kingdom business is 360 degrees, as opposed to Pat where it's 180. In terms of it's more like a theater show, as people know. So I'm always looking for truth. the way I stage a comedy is a little different because when you have people who are really funny, like Miss Pat or Jordan who's writing it, and Jordan's on this season, I can stand people next to each other who, and just, I mean, for those of you technically, because this is a professional town, I can shoot funny people in a two-shot, and they just shine. And I'm cutting a little bit more on other shows. So it's a different approach, but I love both jobs.
Thank you. I have two questions for you.
Okay, let's hope I remember them both.
Okay. First question was, can you talk about how you got the call for the character of Kathy? And then what was the biggest surprise during the process of playing this role for you?
Okay, first call. That's going to be a pickup to what Robbie was talking about. Gosh, Robbie, I have known you for so long, but Robbie called me. Well, my team called me, of course, but Robbie called as well. And like she said, it's just a really exciting moment when I get the call from Robbie that says you got the job. There have been many times when I've read for you and didn't get the job. All of them were still fantastic because I'm just going to love on her for 4 seconds. Because every time it was an opportunity where I got to keep looking at you, and the fact that I knew you kept calling me in and you kept believing in me. When I met you, I was living over by USC. I don't know if y'all know where the city is. It's not a nice neighborhood, y'all. The USC campus is lovely, but I lived in what they call a junior. It's not even a studio. It's a room with an oven in it. And the guy who was my apartment, what do you call that, building manager? Super, sure, he was not super. He had super dreads, but he had an ankle bracelet because he was on house arrest. I could always find him. He was always, thank you. It was a real rough time, y'all. But I mean, you kept calling me in. You really believed in me. I remember I was reading for like the game back then or something. I couldn't get it. That's all right. Whoever was supposed to got it. It was that other light-skinned girl. Y'all know who she is. She's very well in line. I'm sorry. This is such a tangent. But my point is she's seen me go through so much and grow as an artist, and I really cannot express to you the way that we co-journey, and we don't always know the way we're inspiring one another. I mean, from behind the camera, seeing women take over as directors. I've seen so many more women when I come on sets now, in writers' rooms, behind the camera. I've seen so many more Black women leading shows. I've seen this woman say, I have an idea, I'm going to write, produce, star. It's insane. I knew a friend who knew her, and I just heard about her and said, good God gracious, what is she doing? She's doing the damn thing. And then literally, that made me go, I think I can. Watching Robbie do what she did made me go, I think I can. And every way and every one of the times that you told me, I think you can too, by letting me in the room was really special. Anyway, so when she called me for this job, also what you said is being open-minded. Honey, we all know, nobody thought that I could do Kathy. I've always played kind of buttoned up characters, lawyers, doctors, I don't know, people who got their shit together. That is not true about me at all. And so when I went in, when I read the script, even though there was sort of an idea that like that wouldn't be what would be for me, I literally said, I have to read for Kathy. Y'all gotta see me for Kathy. And I heard there was some, maybe not like that, maybe we didn't think that was gonna be good, but I know you. Yes, she knew it.
That's why it's important to keep open minds.
That's right. And she gave me the opportunity. Honestly, I don't know if you wouldn't have fought for me and said she could do this. Anyway, I went in, I did it, and I think right after we got Dion actually, he was, I don't know if he's here now, but Dion had said, he was like, I've been hearing that you was out here doing something. I got to get on this call. So he got on the call and read opposite of me, and we had a really good time. But I think immediately we all knew it was gonna work. And very seldom as an actor do you feel that way. You know, look man, even if you great, there's still somebody else who's amazing too. This town is full of ridiculously talented people. But in that moment, I definitely knew, just because we started, you know, kind of right away going at it. Anywho, so I got the call from her. That was amazing. I told you I wasn't gonna remember the second question.
What was the most surprising thing?
The most surprising thing, y'all, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna just be honest, okay? I'm gonna be real honest. We're gonna just get the business out. It's gonna be out there anyway. Season 1, I don't know if you guys know, but Malcolm Barrett played my husband. So the most surprising thing was Malcolm Barrett and I were actually in a relationship, like real life, y'all, like real life, before we got this show together. So the most surprising thing was that I called I'm sorry, I'm about to call him, you know what I'm saying? Also, the friend that I said knew her was actually Malcolm. So anyway.
I was not surprised.
So Malcolm, what was crazy, I'm not kidding y'all. So he had just got on a plane that morning to go to New York. And I, said goodbye, kissed him goodbye, and he got on a plane, he gets to New York, and I called him, and I was like, baby, I think I'm gonna get this role. But also, they about to call and have me reading with the other, what's his name on the show that day? Thank you, Leon. I just, Malcolm in my brain. So I was like, I think they're about to read all the other Leons, so I just want to give you a heads up, I'm not gonna be as good with them as I am with you. And I said, I'm still gonna be good, but not as good. Anyway. So the most surprising thing about getting that call was that Malcolm got the call the same day, and we celebrated together and like popped champagne and everything. Yeah. Okay, y'all, we're not together no more. All right. I still love him very, very, very much. We are very, very dear friends, and I'm very excited to be working with him, on season 2. that went everywhere. It went all over the country.
I think that sign language lady is tired as hell.
She was so ready.
I don't know what this nigga was doing.
I don't know.
Man, you
I'm
have to
sorry.
kill her.
Thank you. I'm so sorry.
I was talking slow. That lady my side. When I take a breath, Cynthia,
Take a minute. I'm done.
Be quiet, Cynthia. She gotta breathe. She gotta take a second. The sound like was like, damn, I roll my spank.
I'm sorry.
I feel sorry for you, man. I'm glad this all done. I'm glad this all done. She got me to get that lady another check. She must be mad. Let me go ask a question. That lady look
I'm sorry.
We only have a few minutes left, so I'm going to ask a quick question and I want everyone to give a quick answer. Obviously, each one of you here are trailblazers, so I would love to hear from you, who's a person that you consider a trailblazer that has really impacted your life?
I'll start with Mara Brockfield.
Yes.
Who created Girlfriends, had faith in me to let me direct that for multiple seasons. And she just had a voice and a way she wanted to present her view of the world that was just so authentic and wonderful.
I would say every black woman who have paved the way for all of us to set up here. So, would be my trailblazer.
I'd say a woman named Laretha Jones. And yes, so for me, Laretha, I met her she was a junior lawyer, and she had one client, his name was Spike Lee. And I had just cast School Days, but what I had was a dream to have my own company. And I shared that dream with her. And she said, you should have it, and I'll incorporate you, and the rest is history. So, Laretha, and all you need is just one person to believe in you after you believe in yourself.
I'm going to hit up theater stuff again. I'm going to say for me, it would be Lorraine Hansberry. Lorraine Hansberry, I think now we all just, kind of reduce her to, A Raisin in the Sun, which was an amazing play. Amazing Things been done a bajillion times and by a bajillion people. But Lorraine Hansberry was the youngest, and first Black female to have a play on Broadway. And this was in, I don't know if I'm gonna get this fact exactly right, but I believe it was 50s, it was insane, the time frame. She also was one of the first Black women who talked about being queer, being a lesbian. It just is, when you think about what courage that took to do that at that time, and the success that she had. She died so young, but she made an impact that changed every one of us. So, my God, that to me, trailblazer, like, times 10, yeah.
I always think about like Pat, like the women that we don't know, the Black women who, for all of us to be sitting up here, we've come so far. There's so many, if we had been born in a different time, we just wouldn't have been possible. And so I always think about the women who wrote the plays for their church, who got the kids together, who kept loving each generation and infusing each generation with art and beauty until we got to this point where the world was ready to receive us in this way. So it's the nameless, faceless ancestors who I mostly feel buoy me. Yeah. Well, thank you, ladies. Thank you, everyone. And these are the women of BET. Thank you.